So everyone knows, I was able to get the stream back online, so we are streaming. Welcome, Miss Larissa. Welcome, KJ. Started off the meeting with a little bit of technical difficulties, but I think I got everything up.
No worries, get me my owl mug. I'll get by.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, looks like the stream is up.
How's it going, Austin?
Hey, KJ. Good, good.
I might only be able to stay till like 6 today, just so you know.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, but still want to hear what's going on.
Yeah, I was just telling Vinny that the studio recently got involved in a film project, so we've been working a lot
Cool.
on that project.
Oh,
So.
And
fantastic.
yeah, dude, very exciting.
Awesome. Yeah.
So, and Vinny, you were telling me about that you had maybe been doing some voiceover practice. I'd like to hear about that.
Sure. So I booked 3 days of background work as an actor for an industrial
Oh, cool.
2 weeks ago. I did a stand-up comedy competition where I used varying voices that I have on my shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Messer, Messer, did a voice evaluation of my skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm shopping around coaching and such.
Mm-hmm.
And had a couple auditions. I get back in. I actually joined an acting group called the Actors Lab in Wayne, PA, which has been very exciting. We've been doing some scene work, a couple auditions, and just kind of like releasing all the rust and finding out where I stand as an actor again. It's been very fun and exciting. Yeah, dude, just.
That's awesome. That's really great news. So, how did you get the industrial auditions?
So I'm on Backstage Magazine, and I was cast by Nancy Glass Productions about 7 years ago in a prior production. So I was in their roster, and they reached out to me like, "Hey, are you available at these dates to do some industrial work?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." And my company, being so cool, gave me the flexibility to do so. It was all nonverbal, so I got to be a diner patron, a line cook, church goer, and a bar patron for 3 days. So I got to sip fake beer, pretend eat food, and yeah, it was a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
It was a solid paycheck. Um, and then Sunday, I did a stand-up comedy competition that I found out through Helium Comedy Club in Philadelphia. They were like, "Hey, chance to make 3 grand, get to be on stage for 5 minutes." And me being me, I got caught up in it, started talking too much, and got disqualified in the first round. But it's not fun.
Oh.
It's all about the experience. Well, yeah, and
Practice makes perfect.
yeah, but it's all good though. My thing is, I did it for the experience. Like I do this for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like Voices and Choices is a great opportunity to stretch and to improvise, to just kind of figure things out. And I like this Zoom thingy because it gives a chance to like compare notes of what people are doing and more to hold each other accountable to do more things outside of just auditioning. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Yeah, that's definitely how I see it as well. Holding each other
backstage
accountable,
thing.
right?
I mean, why not? I mean, we're all actors. We're all, if we just spend our times consuming content, we're never going to create it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not helpful to our careers.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Can't get high on your supply, man. That's the thing.
I love that. Can't get high on your supply.
No. I mean, like I'm also a firm believer about you are what you eat when it comes to content.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to do B movie quality, just watch that. If you want to do A movie quality, consume that. But also consume all kinds. I met Vincent D'Onofrio 2 months ago, and he gave a beautiful speech saying, don't be a lazy actor. Consume, devour art. and how it makes you feel. You know, if you're not in a museum last week, it's too late. If you're not reading poetry and just really delving into it, or listening to rock concerts and operas and varying forms of entertainment, how can you're wasting your time because you got to pull from those feelings whenever you do your work. I mean, I did this whole stand-up comedy routine just because I wanted to get a stage presence and force myself to write something and force myself out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the voiceover work for the 144, The Chosen Few. It's a hip hop group because it's weird and kitschy. And coincidentally, I was evaluated by Rachel Messer, and she had me do this hero monologue, and I just could not connect with it. It felt so cheesy. Like I just couldn't do it. And when I was in recording with 144, they had me write and create a hero monologue there about my peaceful brother and how I must cut a line of vengeance through the sand in order to bring him peace. It was one of those things, serendipity. Kind of just like forced my hand to be creative. Anyway, it's just like I feel like we as actors need to pull from all forms and can pull from all forms, and little bits here and there can help us create and help us really find the truth in those texts. And with voice work, so many layers and nuances that we get to explore that just, I don't know about you guys, but it fucking excites me. It really does. I get a script, I start breaking it down and figuring out the nuances of what do I want, what's my way, how am I going to get it. It's just thrilling, hands down thrilling. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. If I sound distracted, I kind of am because I'm squeezing in some overtime. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing all that, Vinny. That's good stuff. I'm wondering how if any of that connects with Miss Alyssa or KJ. You want to share anything that made you think of, like content maybe we've been consuming over the week or scripts that we've been interpreting?
Well, I'm kind of desolated. One of my favorite film festivals sometimes has a microfiction competition to go with the film festival. When you go to the film festival itself, you can get the little chapbook of the microfiction. And I had a short story all ready to go, but one of the organizers is sick, and so they are not doing the microfiction competition chapbook this time around. And I'm so disappointed. Not only do I not get to submit my fiction, I don't get to buy the chapbook at the festival. So very sad about that.
Yeah.
But I suppose now I have a good short story ready to roll for something else.
Right. Is it a yearly festival?
No, they do it it's bi-coastal. So they do it in Portland one year and in Providence, Rhode Island the other year.
Okay. So it would be a long time to wait to hold off on publishing the short story for 2 years, or?
Well, it depends what happens with Phil. I mean, it looks like they're not doing the microfiction thing this year, which is the Providence year. So I'm also going to talk to them about just volunteering for the film festival because I'm an idiot. I live in Washington, D.C., so I can easily take the train up to Providence, Rhode Island. It's a nice trip, and enjoy the film festival up there. Providence is a lot of fun, and but the Portland Film Festival, I don't know about that, but I could always submit, if they do the microfiction competition next year, I could always submit the story, even if I wouldn't get to enjoy the festival in person and tear my hair out volunteering.
Miss Larissa, can I ask you a question about your writing process?
Sure. I can't promise a good answer, but you can ask.
Well, someone once posed to me that when you are writing, and it happened to me, like when I was trying to write my stand-up, I kept coming up with like 4 or 5 different other ideas that just kind of resonate with. Like, do you find yourself like working on, let's say, your short story, but then like midway through you get sparks and little tangents of ideas for different content that you've been working on or new things? And if you do, how do you handle that? Do you just nose to the grindstone to the one thing you're focusing on, or do you give yourself some grace, like 5, 10 minutes to work on the other projects too?
Well, all of the above. What I do is I use notes on my Mac, and so anytime I get an idea, I chuck it into a note, even if it's not a very good idea, if it's only half an idea. And so, generally, when I finally have a good idea, it's kind of addictive, and I like to keep going on it. If I do have another idea while I'm in the middle of it, which has happened, I will put a few carriage returns in the note, put a little bit of artwork in there just so I can see where the dividing line is, and add the disjointed notes at the bottom. And then when I get through the story proper, I can take a look at the little disjointed notes and start up their own notes for them. Or say, you know what, I'm going to roll this into the story somehow. The nice thing about writing a story is you can always fix the beginning. Like if your ending is not working, fix the beginning. So that's the nice thing about writing a story is you can go back to the start, which is unfortunately an option which is not available to like serial story publishers or comic book artists. Unfortunately, this is a problem we have. They will paint themselves into corners. So yeah, the answer is all of the above. Like let the juice flow. I suppose I'm lucky in a way in that if I have a good idea, I like to keep sinking my teeth into it. The hard part is having a good idea, as you may have noticed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of content out there, and it's hard to push past all the noise to get people to pay attention to you. The Rick Rubin, I don't know the exact title, but he always pops up in my feed, and he talks about how sometimes you'll get a thread of something, and he'll just kind of like incorporate it. He's the guy that gave Serj Tankian the idea for the song Chop Suey. There's this beautiful line where he says, you know, Father, into my hands, I command my spirits. He didn't give him the line. He said, Serj was like, I can't think of what to put in this bridge. I just can't do it, can't do it. So Rick Rubin says, go to the shelf, the library shelf, pick a book, open it, and whatever the line is, that's the line for the song.
Mm.
It's just one of those like serendipitous things that just came. And I don't know, he pops up in my feed a lot about like writing and creating it. Just sometimes just got to be a part of the esoteric universe. You know, I'm kind of going on a tangent. I do apologize. It's just I've been in a very good creative mood. As like one of my favorite rappers, Eminem, has been quoted as, you know, I have to stay in the universe by constantly writing, by constantly just being on the same frequency as that. And I think as actors, we have that opportunity because storytelling and human condition is all around us, even when we're sitting still. And I don't know about you guys, but like I end up having conversations by myself in characters sometimes. Sometimes they're silly voices, but just like understanding, identifying feelings that could be happening in the car, conversations I could have, such. And I was curious if you guys ever have experienced that yourself.
Oh, I'd say there's a lot to be said for talking to yourself.
I did that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, there is a Jap. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically there is this Japanese philosophy called the ever improving, which is commonly seen throughout society. You see an example like Picasso drawing the same circle over and over again until he gets what he's satisfied with, because sometimes we do have to experiment with a similar thing over to get some things right. I know it sounds like it's sanity, but it turns out to be in your favor. Like look at George Lucas's early prints on Star Wars, and he managed to work with a budget right there. So it's like, and then what he took right there is like he expanded upon it later within his books, within his prequels, and right there, it's like I said, with writing a story, it's never an overnight process, but you work with the best with what you have, and then when it and then when the story becomes to your satisfaction, you expand upon that
Yeah.
upon later right there.
Yeah,
And
that's
this
true. When you're
insanity
when you're
becomes
working
practice.
on a piece of art that you're really passionate about, you do kind of tend to, at least in my process, I tend to over analyze and obsess over the minutia of it until making small improvements along the way until I get it right. It's a little different if I'm working with like a client and there's like a tight timeline, where it's like you just kind of have to get it all out. But like I'm working on a song right now, writing a song, and it was one of those ideas that I've had for many years, and I've been writing kind of bits and pieces, and I was like, oh, actually, some of these could kind of connect. And so a few weeks ago, I realized that I had the basis for like a song structure, so I started, basically compiling it all together, and then once you have all the enough material to like fill the structure, then it's like, okay, well now you have to refine each one of the lines. And like as a songwriter, I like to have really really tight rhyme schemes with like several syllables in a row rhyming and interlocking really tightly. So it takes a lot of time of just like repeating the same phrase over and over again in your head, and workshopping what different syllables would sound like, how different words would change the nuance of what you're writing.
So
Yes.
kind of like
So
poetry, you have to
Austin,
like
do you
figure it
ever
out.
like sing Weird Al's Hardware Store to yourself to learn how to keep things really tight?
Weird Al's Hardware Store. I've never heard that actually, but now I'm
Oh
so
Oh,
my
there's a
excited.
great
God,
great
it
part of
is,
that
yeah,
song.
I'm
it
Googling
is
this.
like Eminem likes to say that he's the greatest rapper of all time, and Weird Al is like, hold my accordion. And like, yeah, I guess
Oh,
it's a
but
good place to bring it up in a voice acting form, because if you can speak through Hardware Store by Weird Al, you can speak anything.
Hmm.
That one section where he lists all the things in like one breath, right?
Yeah,
Hmm. And yeah, that
I
that
mean, he
uh,
passed out after that, which sounds apocryphal, but it's fun to think about.
and this and that's the part that I
He
like
never
about
does
Weird.
that one live, if I recall him correctly saying. He's like, yeah, there's a reason we never do that one live.
I think, and then yeah, because Weird Al's behavior reminds me of like how Adam West would do things. It's like he said, "I never need to say I'm Batman because people already knew who I was. I never needed to say it directly to people. I just let my actions speak for that." And that's what I love about that is like people who let because some people always think about over explaining because and I'm guilty of this as well because I say it because I'm guilty of this as well with over explaining, but like with over you sometimes have to let your actions speak louder than your words, especially when in acting. And I know it's kind of hard because like what the hell are you talking about? You're reading a script as well. It's like yeah, you're reading a script, but you're also doing the actions as well. So it's not like there's no truth to that either.
what's funny is last night I was in an acting class, and we did this scene, and I was doing too much. And this one quote from Gordon Ramsay kept ringing through my ears: "Let the knife do the work." Same can be said for the words. Let the words have the value. The words are enough. Because when you feel the feelings, your face will show it. That's
Yes,
what
we
Like the shower scene in Psycho, let the knife do the work.
exactly. Or the axe if you're working on American Psycho.
hmm
E.T. Dubs, Christian Bale's the freaking man.
Yeah,
I'm
I love that
practicing
movie.
script reading, and yeah, like it's hard. Like I get what you're saying, Vinny. You want the words to do
Yes.
the work, but like
Yeah.
Austin watching Karen do that recording session last week, whenever it was, like that made me think like, yeah, like like the script is there and the words are there, but a lot of it is how you interpret it.
Mhm.
Because like watching her do like three takes each was interesting. That was a good process to watch.
I was so jealous, man. That looked like it's so much fun
Yeah,
getting to
yeah,
try different ways. And when the director tells you to pivot and try it a completely different way you didn't think about, that's where my heart gets whew, really a flutter.
That's
yeah.
the fun part. That's the challenge.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's why I love, and that's why I admire about Karen Strassman right there. It's like, when I heard her story, like when she was younger, it's like because because the story that, my boots fit in, people telling you, people doubting you when you were younger, people who, who refuse to understand you, people who will always naysay you for a dream that you have to follow. It's like because you don't want to be like everyone else, and that's fine. And honestly, that's why I admire right there. It's like even when the odds are against someone, they would rather embrace something they want to do and not let how say naysaying get to you. It's like I had plenty of people doubted me on my dreams, and it's like, and now that I'm getting into Strawberry Hill, now that I'm meeting a lot of other people, it doesn't bother me no more. And I learned to always put the quality of individuals over the quantity of individuals right there. And seeing how far she goes, it's like that's exactly what I want to do right there. A lot to live authentically to myself right there and to live authentically to the craft of what a voice actor is or what I would want to be as a voice actor,
Mhm.
not, some sort of, not not someone who is a byproduct of being something that they want to do. Because every time when I went to the college campus, there was people who were 40 or 50 years old, sometimes 60 or 70, going to college telling me, oh, wait, if that's your dream, then go for it. Because a lot of them would used to be something they didn't want to do in life. And what I don't mean to get into a deep conversation, but a lot of them regretted it and a lot of them lived in an empty void.
Yeah,
And pers
I
and
think
personally,
I think it's I can't remember who said this. It may have been Mark Twain. Um, said that in the end you'll regret the things you didn't try more than the things that you did try.
exactly, it's like a way of saying that if you're wrong, you'll figure it out yourself. Don't let others tell you that, oh, you can't do this or that, because then it makes you want to do it even more. It's like, in fact, go ahead, tell me not to do it because I want to do it even more.
Mm.
Because of the
Gotta look at
fact,
the balance, you gotta balance out the day necessities and chasing the dream, it's tough. And I don't know about you guys, but like I have a hard time like not comparing myself to others. I'm like, well, why am I not further than I am now? I'm fucking alone in a warehouse putting decks of cards into little plastic sleeves for some extra overtime.
it's like a tree. It's not an overnight process. Trees don't just grow, by say overnight. And it's like my uncle likes to use the steak analogy right there. Even if you're vegan, there's still vegan steak. I mean, would you rather cook it in a microwave where it's like, yeah, it gets cooked faster, but then you get a sour, bitter taste over time. And then even if you cook it on the wood steak, it might be slow, but at the same time, the savory flavor will always remain there because you took your time with it, you balanced it through. And people who often take their time with certain stuff right there, with their talents, with their crafts, have a better time than those who rush through things in life. Because when you rush through things, it doesn't last that long.
Cheapens the experience.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah,
as far.
Oh, Vinny, I have a part
It's,
two to the answer to your question.
yes, please.
Um, I got a good writing coach. I emphasize good. And so part of what's stimulating in writing and working up a story, writing is rewriting. You check something down and then you make it better. So part of what keeps me going is looking forward to her feedback, and again, I triple emphasize the word good writing coach. I've had any number of people who would proofread. This happens a lot when you work in a corporate company. There's people who don't do anything. And so someone says, "Oh, give it to what's his name over there to proofread your stuff." And what's his name comes back. And if you've made a typo, like you used were, WERE, when you meant to say we're, WE apostrophe RE, just oops, you left out the apostrophe, you'll get people who come back with you with a 20-minute lecture on the history of the apostrophe. And you're like, typo, I get it, go away. But this coach who I
Yeah.
got doesn't do that kind of nonsense. She saves she will go through my stuff and she will correct my typos. And if I meant to do that, I'll just correct it back. I don't argue about it with her, but she will save her commentary for the real meat of the story, like the pacing, the theme, the characterization. So it's kind of like a Pilates or a yoga coach. If you get a bad one, you can really hurt yourself. You've got to weed through them and find a really good one, because that adds excitement to the process of not just having some fun writing for yourself, but looking forward to the feedback from someone whose opinion you actually respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially when like it's someone that sees your growth as a writer, that sounds super, super exciting. I'm so glad for you that you found that mentor. That's gonna that's pretty freaking awesome.
Mhm.
She is priceless. She really is. Like I don't send her a lot of writing a month. It's just a little bit because it gets expensive. But just
Yeah.
knowing that I'm going to get good feedback on a little bit of writing a month is really exciting.
Yeah, it is true. Always have the people who have the best interest right there, because you want someone who actually cares about their craft than people who's like, okay, this is terrible. Now give me my money. Because, and I'm glad you found that mentor right there because, with my life coach, I mean, I remember I wasn't the same person I was 2 years ago. And she always made sure that I wanted to do what gave me purpose in my life by giving me ideas and encourage me right there. And that's how I got into the voice acting. That's how I got into the Strawberry Hill right there because, of course these people will get paid, but at the same time, you want people who actually live to do what they
Oh no.
what they say.
Hey, Miss Larissa, I have a question for you. I mean, like, just from one theater writer nerd to another, do you have a specific like pen and notebook you use when you come up with your ideas, or is that just me and my craziness?
Oh, be careful about going down that rabbit hole. I am a notebook maniac. I am
Right?
a Blackwing fetishist. Not
Yes.
only that, my husband for Christmas last year he bought me the Diamond Ink Vine ink uh, advent calendar. So every day
Yes.
of December, I was opening a new little bottle of ink, and I had a special notebook where I was writing things to myself with a different ink. And okay,
Yes.
brace yourself. I'm in the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. I'm a lifetime member, and a thing we do amongst ourselves is we do Eldritch Elf. We can't do Secret Shuggoth because it was already taken, where you get assigned a random other lifetime member of the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, and you send them weird shit in December. And so I was having a great time drawing all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
Um, so A,
That's so
anything?
baller.
No. About 17 favorites. Yes.
Mhm.
Something I would like to do someday, God help me, is do my own chapbook of my writing, book bound on parchment with my own stitching, my own bookbinding. I missed recently a Coptic bookbinding seminar at my local library. I just found out about it too late and it was already full.
Oh, no way, my neighbors are Coptic.
And so, yeah, so I'm looking forward to, well, maybe I shouldn't say looking forward, but yeah, so doing my own bookbinding for my own, yeah, yeah, Vinny you shouldn't have asked that question because
No, no, I like Miss Larissa, like I've
too
always
much.
wanted to hear you talk about stuff because you always are two ears, one mouth for your own reasons. But it's nice to actually hear you share this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm just that's pretty baller that you do all that stuff for your craft. Well, like return for your craft, and it makes me feel better that I have one notebook for my 10 bits of gratitude I write every single morning. My uh, my what is it? Strong leader, good father, competent son journal. All right, document when I've done good things for that. And whenever I write stuff for my podcast, I always use the yellow pads, the yellow legal pads, the big ones. and I use a certain pen whenever I write for the 144, and I use a certain pen when I'm writing my personal thoughts. Blue Big pens, round tip. If you guys are interested in giving me a surprise gift, I love Blue Big pens. I can't get enough of them. I have a whole Staples worth of supplies because I go on back to school and I just get all the sales of them as much as I can.
The problem is I don't know your mailing address.
Well, we'll figure that out later. Oh man, someone else talk. This is exciting. This is very, very exciting.
Hmm.
I got
Anyone
a
got
question
any?
for you guys with the writing stuff.
Yes.
How do you submit a piece of writing that you've made? Because I've been writing this like novel story like on and off for years. Like my mom's a writer and she's wondering that too. I'm just curious. You guys know by any chance?
Well,
Substack.
well, like you, I'm still writing. The first thing I'm doing is I'm submitting it through with Strawberry Hill because I trust them, and I want to trust the people who brought me up before anything else, and then because it's like I said, this is gonna be an experimental one for basically a voice acting class that I want to see if we can do right there. And that's all it is right there because I'm planning on starting a YouTube video basically to promote this to see where it goes right there, to see if it's a hit or miss. And besides, if I'm wrong, I'll see where it goes. But probably
Uh,
Miss Melissa has probably more knowledge on it than anyone else does in this.
I see the link you posted. Thank you, Miss Larissa.
so like, is it like a novel format? Is this like a short form content? What are you trying to do? That's what
It's
I'm curious
supposed to
about.
be a novel. It's more like a script. It's just basic dialogue. Like I said,
That's a
like I
bit,
started in college. It's been on and off for years. It's not like written in novel form.
Hmm.
Just ideas I had.
well, like, what's your budget?
I don't know. That's a good
Because
question.
no, the reason I asked is because I legit have a go-to editor that I can hook you up with if you want.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Well, it's not ready yet to be published, like in any
No,
means.
no, no. Like I'm writing my first book this year, and I'm using her to edit my stuff so that it'll be ready to publish by November. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, no, dog. I think it's great. Definitely put pen to paper. And the best suggestion I was given was find someone you trust to edit it, and then when you get the first draft, start sending it to your friends to get their opinions on it,
Hmm.
and make
Mhm.
adjustments as needed. And then when you have a budget like I don't know, like $100, go on Fiverr.com, be like, hey, need a book editor, da, 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 and then shell it out there. And
Okay,
then
so pay to play stuff. All right.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, don't worry about the and don't worry about the don't. You ever heard the phrase "don't put the cart in front of the horse"?
Hmm.
That's what you're focusing on. You're focused on the end result. Focus on getting the damn thing out. Be proud of it. And
Yeah,
And
there's tons of
copyrighted.
stuff.
It's
Uh,
yours. Hold
Facts.
on to your legal rights.
That's
yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah, I remember you can
copyrighted.
publish your own things. That's what you got to do. You got to protect your. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, guys. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Mhm.
dog. Always, you always feel free to ask, talk. I mean, like look, I come on this thing to hold myself accountable with my goals and everything. And, as much as I enjoy talking about how great Cowboy Bebop is, I like to talk about actual stuff we're doing for our craft, not just consuming.
Mhm.
This is probably the most exciting community hub I've been on in a minute. Don't, because like we're actually like talking real stuff. We're not just talking about like
Like I've been
favorite
trying to get my
animals.
demos together with Raj, then I got a sore throat and a cold. That like put me back for a week. So yeah.
Just
Shit
avoid
happens,
dairy.
man.
Yeah.
Avoid.
Yeah, I do, JC. Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
More
because
power to you,
like I
brother.
said, plenty of ginger beer helps out a lot helps you go a long way. It's like I said, I avoiding dairy is hard because it's like, I love pizza, I love all the stuff there, but it's like I always find substitutes with like a lot of Asian food because it's like I said, it's like I want to keep my voice intact right there. Uh,
Are you reading your books aloud when you're just like not working on demos?
which
Oh, is
one?
that to me or
Anybody? I mean, like, are you guys reading your books aloud just for fun? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
Like
I
I've
do
been reading
read.
my
Yeah, I
poetry
do
about.
too. Yeah, this is a thing we used to do
Sometimes.
all the time. It was kind of a we had always read out loud to each other, and my father and I would do all the voices. And actually, my father and I used to kind of have competitions of who could sort of overdo the voice.
I
Yeah.
love
Uh,
that.
oh, overdo the
So,
voice like William Shatner. As you can
so
see, Spock.
no, not like William Shatner. There's I don't know if you've ever heard the French audiobooks for the Harry Potter series. The voice actor who does that is overacting so severely. I kind of can't stand it for any length of time, but for just, passing the book around amongst each other while we're cooking dinner, a bit of overacting is fun, but it also can
Oh,
teach you what overacting feels like so
yes.
that you, yeah,
Yeah,
so you know what,
I
don't
mean,
do
like
this.
every theater coach I've ever had has always said, start big and then pull back. We can pull you
mhm.
back, but like making you enlarge, it's going to be harder. Miss Larissa, that is such a fun thing. Are you and your dad still close?
He died, I'm afraid. So,
Ah, yeah. I'm sorry for your
but
loss.
but before he died, I ran him into the ground. Every time he came to see me like 4 times that year. I took him out to ball games, jazz clubs. God, there was one time my dad, in the last year of his life, he could drink me and my husband under the table. We used to go to the Spanish tapas place where they had a bartender from Barcelona where they did a martini evening. And one of the things they did was perfect martinis, which, is just a glass of gin in a cold glass. And I tried to drink mine, and it was like nail polish remover. I was like, nope, nope, I cannot handle this. Dad drank his, drank mine, drank my husband's. And so,
That's, oh man, it sounds
yeah,
like a hoot.
yeah. And so, but the poor guy, the rheumatoid arthritis was eating him alive. And so we went to go see the playoffs for baseball that year. He was a big baseball fan, and his knees were just gone. So my husband and I had to sit on either side of him, and every time there was a reason to stand up and cheer, we had to hoist him up. Poor guy. But I still dragged him out dancing at the Blues Club because just because you have rheumatoid arthritis, Dad, doesn't mean you get to crap out on going out dancing with your daughter.
That is, I fucking love that. I hope one day you share that story in your stories.
Yeah, that could be a
Because those,
story right there. Yeah.
that's beautiful, beautiful, man. Really. Oh,
Well, I think, Vinny, I'm not sure you were around when I told you this, but one time with Austin, I was telling about a thing that my father and I used to do together. It was a method for, I was about to say the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, but it's more like the slings and arrows of basic life, where you're at a restaurant and the waiter is just not getting it done, or you try to park and there's 14 parking signs and you don't know what's going on. And so Dad and I had a thing where anytime we were starting to get mad about something, we would look at each other and go, maybe Dracula. So maybe the waiter isn't dropping our drinks and forgetting our orders because he's a jerk or he's an idiot. Maybe it's Dracula. So it is kind of too bad that he's gone, and I no longer have someone to look at when I'm waiting online at the DMV and they skipped my number to say, man, this DMV is a piece of junk. Or maybe Dracula.
that's a, that's amazing.
I don't know.
You have
Maybe
a
it's not so concentrated inside it.
you have such a beautiful view of the world, Miss Larissa.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I needed that today.
It reminds me of how to say this. That my grandparents, coming from Spain because it's like they because Galicia is a Celtic part, they would have something in common with the Irish. The Irish would always say, even in the darkest hours, to always make a joke out of something, to keep a sanity right there. And that's what it is, right? Because I used to read a lot of Irish poetry, and some of them would talk about some of the darkest stuff that ever happened to them, but then they make a sort of joke out of the darkest stuff that keeps them going through their sanity. It's like it reminds me. It's like you have, like I said, you have a beautiful view of the world right there, and your father sounds like an amazing individual, and he'd be proud of who you are. And honestly, it's like I said, it's not always, even if the people might seem gone, they live on through people like you, like Miss Larissa. You may not see it, but your father lives on through your way of life and your teachings that you're teaching us right now. So that's the beauty of it right there. And
Stories are what keeps our families alive, man.
yeah,
He
it's what
also
keeps them.
lives on through Dracula.
That's such a good catchphrase. You should put that on a t-shirt.
There's an idea. A whole line of "Blame Dracula for Your Problems" T-shirts. That
I
that
mean,
actually that's the worst idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like something they put in a Turkish restaurant. Blame Dracula.
I
I don't know
mean,
if you know the historical context.
blame Dracula for all our problems.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dracula, did you know that Christopher Lee acted Dracula in multiple film adaptations?
Wasn't he in like the over-the-top gory ones?
Yeah, he was in the
Yeah,
over the
the
top
Hammer
gore.
film. Where he
Yes,
was
the over the
with
top.
fucking knives,
What, what are they called? Like hammer something?
walking down the hallway.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was one of the only Draculas that had facial hair because since Dracula is based on Vlad the Third, you would barely see the ones in adaptations with facial hair. And that's the thing because it's like he comes from Romania. Romanians have a lot of facial hair back in those days, right there. And let, and let's just say the when Cyrus when was the Bram Stoker wrote the film for Dracula, he looked at Dracula's lore being Vlad the Third or the Impaler. That's why you see in Castlevania it reflects off of that. And basically when Bram Stoker studied about that, he would bring in the elements right there. He would bring in a lot of the lore, such as why he would dress in Turkish clothing, basically because he tricked the Turks into killing their own people. And he was actually a cannibal in real life. So that's where the vampire lore came from. And the fact that how say his body went missing the same day and his executioners went missing the same night, it basically became a sort of compelling like, horror story. And then when you hear the stories based off of Romani people saying, oh, they saw a so-called vampire, because fun fact, if your body was decomposed with rabies, your body would still be twitching and you would have rabies foaming from your mouth. Like your head will be moving like that. Well, that's what would happen right there. And it's and I always remember talking to Raj about that because since Romani people came from India, they would also have a similar creature that they would talk about over there. Uh, Austin, is Raj over there? Because it's like I remember I talked to him about that one.
Oh, I don't know if he's. I don't know where he went. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like,
He was working, but I sounds maybe we scared him off.
Me.
I just stumbled onto.
Vampire.
I was just getting caught up on my
Some vampire.
emails here.
Vampires are spooky.
I see, Miss Larissa, that you wrote a really nice critique of our ADR workshop with Karen. I actually
Oh.
hadn't had the chance to read it until just now, so I'm just looking through it.
Oh.
And I really appreciate how thorough you were. I think that this is really going to help us
improve.
improve.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
did my
good.
best to keep it short.
It's thorough, which is good, but not longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I say is variety of character. She's a great teacher. All we need is like variety of characters. So that way, because I noticed in the Real Voice LA, we're always given a variety of characters to pick from. So that way everyone does something different, or people want to do the same one. But I'm always appreciative of her feedback. I'm always appreciative of doing the work over there. And it's like we say, you know, the second time is always better than the first.
Hmm. Yeah, we're definitely planning on running this again, probably in October. It's not on the schedule yet, but yeah, we're gonna run the
And-
ADR workshop again.
And more voices and choices. We gotta know what happens next.
I know we're gonna do a few more of those this year. I got to get them on the calendar.
Hmm.
I have one quick question. Oh, also quick introduction. My name's Ashley.
Oh,
Hi,
Um,
Ashley.
Ashley.
hi. Um, I was looking through the website and I probably didn't look through it enough. But do you offer singing lessons or
You know,
uh
we were actually, I was just talking with Raj because Raj and I are both singers. We were just talking about singing lessons,
mm,
incorporating that into our offerings. So
that
yeah,
is super
we
cool.
can definitely talk with you more
I'll,
about that.
Hmm.
Hells yeah. Tara Strong is one of the fantastic actresses. She's also a fantastic singer. Ray Delisle, amazing singer. Jim Cummings. I mean, the biggest people in the business are amazing singers.
Oh yeah,
Morgan,
that.
yeah.
Rob Paulson, goddamn, Yakko Warner is fantastic singer.
Ashley, did you have any other questions about, or was that the main one?
That was the main one. This in I guess I do have another question.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a confirmation, but like once you buy the membership, one of the tiers, you have full access to um not a handful. You have access to lessons
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or
you
voice
get
actors.
access to all of the workshops we've ever done recorded,
Mhm.
and then there's two courses that you gain access to. One hosted by Morgan Berry, and another hosted by Karen Strassman.
Mhm. I'm super excited with the Morgan Berry course. She's like really amazing.
Good,
Oh my
That,
good.
yeah, and you're learning from good people. Like Raj helped compose the soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop and even Cowboy Bebop Live. We had people like Wendy Lee, who even sang some parts for Cowboy Bebop Live. And then not to mention, we should probably get Kate Higgins here as well because Kate Higgins did sing. She did sing for Super Mario Odyssey, the main theme as well, and then she is going to be in Donkey Kong Bonanza. We should
god. Oh
probably
my
get her.
god. That's amazing.
Yeah, so you're pretty much in good hands right here. It's like everyone else comes from a different background of some sort,
Hmm.
and it's like I said, you have Wendy Lee, who is a former, who still who has a talent in music. You have Karen Strassman, you have Raj. So you're pretty much in good hands right here. So it's like with Strawberry Hill, they make sure that you get everything that you ask for right there. Not like you're signing a contract or anything blindfolded right there.
You
Hmm.
So
see that, David? Take notes. We need more celebrities. We need more people with diverse backgrounds. We demand Rob Paulson. We demand Jim Cummings. Gray Delisle for life. Let's go.
I say I say Kate Higgins will probably be the best bet because it's like how to say this. Kate Higgins because I did not realize she did the vocals for Super Mario Odyssey right there because like she had a because I am aware with her relation to Karen Strassman, she did music in Monster High, but then she did the jazz vocals in that game, and then now in Bonanza, which is very much going to be her next big outing for her music right there.
And Ashley, just to clarify, we don't have any curriculum, like any courses for singing yet. But
Hmm.
if you do one of our tiers that has private training, then Raj and I can be your vocal coach.
Okay, yeah. Um, because
Ashley,
oh yes.
what got you into acting? What was that thing?
Yeah, tell us
What
about yourself.
okay. So I um to make this as less cringy as possible, is well, I was in my third year of community college and I was struggling to figure out what I actually wanted to do. Like I wanted to do voice acting for the longest time. However, I didn't know where to start. So looking at on TikTok, and there are voice actors that are on TikTok, and there's some more active than others. I don't know if you know of this specific voice actor, Jonas Scott. That's his name. He voices Legoshi from Beastars.
Nice. I love that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, he's super cool. and I forgot this one voice actress's name. She voiced a character from My Little Pony, but they had both recommended that we take. I know Jonas Scott's amazing. They both had recommended that we should at least be in a play to get some acting skills and whatnot. And it's true, you need to learn how to act in order to voice act because it literally says in the name voice acting. And
Facts.
so I tried to audition for this one play and I didn't get in. However, I was the assistant director for that play. It was definitely very interesting. I got to see how the actors prepare um prepare like how they become their characters and everything. It was really cool. Um but since this was like a community college, and I don't know if this is just a thing at my specific community college, it was a little unprofessional. And but I managed to pull through this despite all the drama and unorganization. But
Did,
it was
did,
really nice. Sorry, were you gonna say
no,
something?
I just wanted to say that's awesome. That don't feel bad. I mean, we all have each and every single one of us have weird ass reasons why we got into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why I like. Okay, so the short story for mine is I there was a really pretty girl and I followed her to the drama club. I
Mm-hmm.
lost the girl, but I found the passion.
Yes.
I watched the movie Demolition Man and said to myself, I want to be that guy. I won't be the guy that has all the answers to all the problems that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel bad if yours was unprofessional. It was theater. You
Yeah.
had fun.
Yeah. I was actually in this the second play that was
Yeah.
upcoming, and I actually played one of the lead roles. It was really like sudden. It was really stressful, but I also had a really good time. I mean, it demonstrates the pressure and how like you have to like be defiant and learn to be able to portray a character and realistically like convince the audience like this is the character, not it's not you just acting or trying to act. And um because of that I did learn a lot of things about acting. I took a few acting classes from that community college, and I also follow these voice actors who give advice as well. I keep on forgetting people's names, but they've been
David?
really sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I just like I don't get to talk shop, so I get really excited. So I
Okay.
apologize.
No, it's fine.
Um, have you looked at Chris Greenfield for his voiceover challenges on TikTok?
Chris Greenfield. Wait,
Chris Greenfield.
I think. Oh my God, yes, I did one of his duets. I uploaded it in my in my TikTok account, but
Good
um
for you.
I deleted it because I thought it was, I mean, it was my first time doing a duet and I was kind of embarrassed to listen to myself, but maybe I'll redo it again, see how I've improved over the years. I've uploaded two other duets. Um
Because that's the thing. Anytime you get on stage, anytime you get behind a microphone, any chance you get to create is one rep, one step closer to your dream. I say fucking go for it. I mean,
yeah,
it's just free practice. And you know, if anything, you
You're
went
not
out
gonna
and
lose.
you did a thing.
that's true.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not gonna lose. It's not like you're gonna lose $1 billion if you fail. It's not gonna like you're gonna lose a life if you fail because that's the thing. If you strain yourself based on how to say it's insecurities, you're not gonna get anywhere. And this is the thing actually. Have you ever heard of the play Pagliacci?
I have not actually.
Pagliacci is basically the Italian it's you can watch this on YouTube, you can watch this on one of those casts. Pagliacci is an Italian opera where it also inspired the concept of the Joker. Basically, Pagliacci starts out by saying that these are real emotions by real people, and it's based on a case on one of the directors. One and some of the people who've been here have heard this before, based on one of the directors' uncle's cases where two brothers basically murdered his wife because because of the fact that she committed
Adultery.
infidelity right there. And basically the theme of Pagliacci is putting on a mask even and to perform even when tragedy strikes you right there. If you hear
Mhm.
the if you hear the iconic song right there, I forget the name. Basically, basically the clown is describing that he has to put on the performance even though he's in trouble. He is in great despair, and throughout the end of the play, he basically asks his wife, who is the lover in character, since they are a circus duo. And even though the people think it's a play or think it's an act, but when he stabs her, she calls out for Julius and then stabs him. And that's the thing right there. When they say that these are real emotions by real people, they weren't lying because
Hmm.
because it's like obviously it's not them that feel like that at the moment, but they've obviously felt a sort of emotion of happiness, sadness, or emotions right there. So obviously it no longer becomes acting. It becomes a sort of relation to that character, even if you may not agree with them or not.
So I am gonna have to bring us in for a landing just a little bit early this evening, but I was just wanted to give someone an opportunity to ask any questions that they may have. If you brought any questions today from me about any events coming up or anything before we head out here.
Voices and choices. When is it going to be next?
We are planning
It,
3 more Voices and Choices sessions between now and December. Um, I don't know when they are exactly, but one will probably be looking at the calendar. One is probably going to be in August. Yeah, and actually we're gonna move them to Wednesdays, I think. So it'll be a Wednesday in August. I guess I can pick it right now, actually.
and what about the how to say this, the D&D?
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, Voices and Choices. Let's see, Raj. Oh, actually, this would be a good day for it. Oh wait, no, it won't be in that day.
I did go to the webinar that featured Wendy Lee. It was super cool getting to
I think
hear her story.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I never would have guessed she would voice Konota from Lucky Star, but that just goes to show that like her range is freaking amazing. Like I really hope I get to have a range that like awesome.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. First of all, stop that. Stop limiting yourself. You have no idea. You have just begun your journey. And what's going to be crazy is this. You're going to be able to play certain roles really fucking good right now at your age range and your skill level. And as you age, your voice is going to evolve, your brain is going to evolve. And soon enough, you're going to have a gigantic cornucopia, for lack of a better term, of characters you're going to pull from and life experiences.
That's very true.
Lock
and
in, baby doll. You're going to
Yeah.
be in for a hell of a ride.
I really do need to lock in.
Josh, and when I took classes with Joshua Seth, he says your voice is like a muscle.
It
Just
is.
like with everything else, you build it up over time, so it's not an overnight process.
That's
You're
So,
going
right.
to do so good. You're going to do so good.
Thank you.
mhm,
Y'all are gonna do amazing too.
So,
absolutely.
Actually, I just dropped a YouTube link in the chat. It's Mike Judge, who's a renowned voice actor and creator, finding the voice for
yes.
Boomhauer. But if you Google like Mike Judge finding the voices for characters, you find all kinds of things. And so it's really great to listen to him like on his journeys of finding voices and the things that he plugs into other things. So it's yeah, highly recommended. And he's always really funny when he tells the tales as well.
And
guy's
I just
amazing.
scheduled the next roleplay workout. I'll put it in our system so we can register for it. But it's going to be Wednesday, August 20th
Oh, kick
at
ass.
5:30.
So wait, that's the D&D or that's the voice workout?
The roleplay workout, D&D. It's well,
Voices and choices.
voices and choices, similar to D&D.
I mean, that's what you call it, so I figure that's what we should call it.
Yeah.
And Ashley, if you ever, you should totally join us. We're just a bunch of voice actors in a room having a time of our lives, rolling dice and figuring out what's going on. David Austin David is very good about holding us by the hand in Dungeons and Dragon lore so we can get things done. So,
Is it members only or?
Members can play for
Free.
free. And then
Okay.
it's like $30 a ticket if you're not a member.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
but yeah, it's all in good fun. We don't eat each other alive. It's not that type of D&D, so it's like it's all for the fun of the game. It's all for, to help us out with our journey as well, because you have to experiment somehow to get yourself in a better position.
Definitely.
and Ashley, if I might suggest, start reading books aloud just for fun. Read everything aloud so you get more comfortable with your voice because you're going to have to live with it for a while.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, Josh
And-
was.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's all good, buddy. I get to talk shop. I don't get to talk shop. I'm too excited about this.
Yeah, me
Someone
too.
else talk.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck,
yeah.
man. This is like,
Joshua Seth says you have to learn to appreciate your own voice, because if you can't appreciate your own voice, then what's the point of being a voice actor? You're gonna have to learn to live with your own voice, and that's what it is. You could build it like a muscle, like sort of like building up your own muscles right there. Don't focus on everyone else looking better than you. That could be inspiration, but don't look at it as a way of saying, why don't I have that? Why don't I have this? Because it's never really an overnight process with that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and close out the meeting. It's been a great conversation. I think we all got a lot out of it, and just looking forward to what's in store for next week. So see you all here. You can use the same link to register if you use the link to register, and or just keep an eye on your emails, and we'll see you next time. Okay.
All right. It was nice meeting you all.
Nice meeting you as
Thank you,
well.
Austin.
All right.
Come back.